Do you reach for a square of dark chocolate believing it's a heart-healthy treat that sharpens your mind? It's a habit millions of older Americans share, drawn to the promise of antioxidants and a touch of indulgence. But here's a question that might surprise you. Why do some people over 60 feel their heart racing or lie awake at night, tossing and turning after eating that same healthy chocolate? Let's cut to the chase. Dark chocolate is often hailed as a superfood, but it can be a double-edged sword. If you choose the wrong type or eat too much, it might trigger a racing heartbeat, disrupt your sleep, or even increase the risk of atrial fibrillation, a serious heart condition that affects nearly 3 million Americans over 60. In fact, a 2022 Harvard study found that over 40% of older adults consuming high cocoa chocolate regularly reported palpitations or sleepless nights. The truth is, what seems like a harmless treat could be working against your health if you're not careful. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on dark chocolate. You'll discover 3 surprising facts about its effects on your heart and brain, the science behind why it can disrupt your sleep or make your heart race, and, most importantly, how to enjoy it safely so you can savor the benefits without the risks. Let's dive in and uncover the truth about dark chocolate and how to make it work for you, not against you. First, let's unpack what makes dark chocolate such a complex player in your diet. It's not just about the rich flavor, it's about the powerful compounds inside. Dark chocolate contains caffeine and theobromine, 2 stimulants that can pack a stronger punch than your morning coffee. It's also loaded with flavonoids, antioxidants praised for their heart protective benefits. But here's the catch. These same compounds can cause trouble if consumed in the wrong amounts, especially for older adults. Caffeine, as you likely know, is a stimulant that keeps you alert. In dark chocolate, it's present in smaller amounts than in coffee, about 12 to 40 milligrams per ounce, depending on the cocoa content. But theobromine, a lesser-known compound, is where things get interesting. Theobromine is chemically similar to caffeine and can stimulate your heart rate and nervous system. According to a 2021 study from the Mayo Clinic, theobromine can increase heart rates by up to 10 beats per minute in some individuals, particularly those over 60. This effect is more pronounced in people with sensitive cardiovascular systems, which is common as we age. Flavonoids, on the other hand, are the darlings of dark chocolate's health halo. These antioxidants, found in high amounts in cocoa, improve blood flow, reduce inflammation, and may even lower blood pressure. A 2020 meta-analysis from the Cleveland Clinic confirmed that flavonoids in dark chocolate can reduce the risk of cardiovascular events by up to 8% when consumed in moderation. But there's a flip side. In high doses, flavonoids can cause excessive blood vessel constriction, particularly in older adults with existing heart conditions. This can lead to feelings of unease, a racing pulse, or even chest discomfort. So what's the safe amount? Research from the Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic suggests that up to 30 grams of dark chocolate per day, about 1 ounce or a small square, offers cardiovascular benefits without significant risks. But exceeding 60 grams daily, especially for those over 60, can tip the scales. The same Harvard study we mentioned earlier found that older adults consuming more than 60 grams of high cocoa chocolate daily were 40% more likely to report heart palpitations or sleep disturbances. Why? The combination of caffeine and theobromine can overstimulate the nervous system, leading to restlessness, anxiety, or even irregular heart rhythms in sensitive individuals. When does rich become too rich? Let's talk about cocoa content, because not all dark chocolate is created equal. The higher the cocoa percentage, the more potent the effects, both good and bad. Chocolate with 70% cocoa or higher contains 2 to 3 times more theobromine than milk chocolate. For example, a 30-gram bar of 85% dark chocolate can contain up to 240 milligrams of theobromine, while a similar-sized bar of 55% cocoa might have closer to 100 milligrams. To put that in perspective, that's roughly equivalent to the stimulating effect of a small cup of coffee. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration (FDA) hasn't set an official safe limit for theobromine, but a 2023 study from Tufts University offers some guidance. Researchers recommend that older adults cap their theobromine intake at 200 milligrams per day, equivalent to about 2 small 30-gram bars of 70% dark chocolate. Exceeding this can overstimulate the nervous system, leading to jitteriness or difficulty falling asleep. For comparison, chocolate with 85% cocoa or higher can push you over this limit with just 1 bar. While 55 to 60% cocoa is generally safer, delivering flavonoids without overwhelming your system. Why does cocoa content matter so much? Higher cocoa percentages mean more concentrated stimulants. A 2022 study from the American College of Cardiology found that chocolates with 85% cocoa or higher were linked to a 15% higher incidence of reported nervousness or palpitations in older adults compared to those with 60% cocoa. Yet, the lower cocoa options still provide the heart-healthy flavonoids, making them a smarter choice for most people over 60. Now let's connect the dots between dark chocolate, a racing heart, and those sleepless nights. The American Heart Association, AHA, has flagged a concerning trend. Older adults with underlying conditions, like high blood pressure or atrial fibrillation, are particularly vulnerable to the stimulating effects of dark chocolate, especially when consumed in the evening. A 2021 AHA study found that individuals with these conditions who ate high cocoa chocolate after 6 p.m. were 30% more likely to experience heart palpitations or irregular rhythms compared to those who avoided it at night. Why does timing matter? It comes down to your body's biological clock. Caffeine and theobromine in dark chocolate can suppress the production of melatonin, the hormone that signals it's time to sleep. A 2020 study from Johns Hopkins University found that consuming stimulants like caffeine or theobromine within 6 hours of bedtime can reduce melatonin production by up to 20%, throwing off your sleep-wake cycle. This can leave you feeling wired yet exhausted, staring at the ceiling while your body begs for rest. For older adults, this disruption is particularly problematic. As we age, melatonin production naturally declines, making it harder to achieve deep, restorative sleep. Adding a stimulant like dark chocolate to the mix, especially late in the day, can exacerbate this, leading to what researchers call sleep fragmentation. This means you might fall asleep but wake up frequently, feeling unrested. Over time, poor sleep quality is linked to higher risks of cognitive decline and heart issues, creating a vicious cycle. To sum it up, dark chocolate's benefits come with a caveat. Its stimulants can boost your heart rate and disrupt your sleep, especially if you're over 60 or have heart-related conditions. But the good news? You don't have to give it up entirely. By understanding the science and making smart choices, you can enjoy dark chocolate without the unwanted side effects. Now that we've explored the science, let's make it practical. Not everyone needs to approach dark chocolate the same way. Your health profile and habits play a big role in whether it's a safe treat or a potential risk. Here's a clear guide to help you decide. If you're generally healthy, with no major heart or sleep issues, dark chocolate can be a great addition to your diet. Stick to 30 grams or less per day, about 1 ounce or a couple of squares. This amount delivers flavonoids without overloading your system with stimulants. Research from the Cleveland Clinic supports this, showing that moderate consumption reduces cardiovascular risk without significant side effects. If you have high blood pressure, you can still enjoy dark chocolate, but choose wisely. Opt for varieties with 60 to 70% cocoa, which balance flavonoids with lower theobromine levels. However, if you have a history of atrial fibrillation or other heart rhythm issues, it's best to avoid high cocoa chocolate altogether. The AHA warns that theobromine can trigger arrhythmias in sensitive individuals, increasing the risk of complications. For those who struggle with insomnia or poor sleep quality, timing is critical. You can still enjoy a small amount of dark chocolate, but only in the morning or early afternoon. Avoid it entirely after 3 p.m., as the stimulants can linger in your system for up to 8 hours, disrupting your sleep. A 2022 study from the National Sleep Foundation found that consuming stimulants in the late afternoon increased nighttime awakenings by 25% in older adults. Not all dark chocolate is created equal, and picking the right one can make all the difference. Aim for chocolate with 60 to 70% cocoa content. This range offers a solid dose of flavonoids while keeping theobromine levels manageable. A 2023 report from Consumer Lab, an independent testing organization, found that chocolates in this range typically contain 100 to 150 milligrams of theobromine per 30 grams serving, well within the safe limit for most older adults. Pay close attention to the ingredient list. Choose chocolates with minimal added sugar and no artificial sweeteners, which can cause digestive discomfort or other side effects. Also, steer clear of products with added stimulants like guarana, which can amplify the effects of caffeine and theobromine. Always check the label for theobromine content. If it's listed, aim for less than 200 milligrams per 30 grams serving. Quality matters too. Look for brands that use pure cocoa without unnecessary additives. Some chocolates include fillers or flavorings that dilute the health benefits. A simple rule: if the ingredient list is long and complicated, it's probably not the best choice. When you eat dark chocolate is just as important as how much you eat. To avoid sleep disruptions, enjoy your chocolate before 3 p.m. This gives your body enough time to process the caffeine and theobromine before bedtime. A 2021 study from the University of California, San Diego, found that consuming stimulants before mid-afternoon had minimal impact on sleep quality. While evening consumption increased sleep latency, the time it takes to fall asleep, by up to 30 minutes. Pairing your chocolate with certain foods can also help. Eating it alongside nuts, seeds, or unsweetened plant-based milk can slow the absorption of stimulants, reducing their impact on your heart and nervous system. For example, a small square of dark chocolate with a handful of almonds or a glass of almond milk can make for a balanced, heart-healthy snack. Fruits like berries or bananas can also complement chocolate, adding fiber and nutrients that support digestion and stabilize blood sugar. The key is moderation and mindfulness. By choosing the right type, amount, and timing, you can make dark chocolate a safe and enjoyable part of your routine. Let's set the record straight. Dark chocolate isn't the villain in your pantry, but it's not a miracle cure either. The idea that darker is always better is a common misconception that can lead to trouble, especially for older adults. Too often we assume that loading up on high cocoa chocolate will supercharge our health. But the truth is, overdoing it can harm your heart and rob you of restful sleep. Your body changes with age, becoming more sensitive to stimulants like caffeine and theobromine. What felt like a harmless treat in your 40s might now keep you awake or make your heart race. This doesn't mean you need to swear off chocolate forever. Instead, it's about adapting to your body's evolving needs. A small square of 60% cocoa chocolate in the morning can still deliver the heart-protective benefits of flavonoids without overwhelming your system. The science is clear: moderation is your best friend. By sticking to 30 grams or less per day, choosing lower cocoa varieties, and eating earlier in the day, you can enjoy dark chocolate's flavor and benefits while safeguarding your health. It's not about deprivation. It's about making informed choices that let you savor what you love without unintended consequences. Think of it this way. Dark chocolate is like a good friend. You cherish the time you spend together, but you don't need to overstay your welcome. A little goes a long way, and with the right approach, you can keep this treat in your life without letting it disrupt your heart or your sleep. You don't have to give up the foods you love to stay healthy. You just need to enjoy them smarter. Dark chocolate can still be a delightful part of your day, as long as you understand how to use it wisely. At this stage of life, it's not about having more, it's about having what's right for you. A small piece of chocolate, savored at the right time, can be a moment of joy without risking your heart or your rest. Take a moment to reflect. Are you eating dark chocolate in a way that supports your health? Have you ever noticed a racing heart or trouble sleeping after an evening treat? Your experiences matter, and they might help someone else. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe you've found the perfect time or type of chocolate that works for you. Or perhaps you've had a sleepless night you didn't expect. If this video has shed light on how to enjoy dark chocolate safely, please share it with a friend or family member who might benefit. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to protecting your health. And if you're curious to learn more about foods that support your heart and sleep as you age, check out the next video in our playlist. Here's to enjoying life's little pleasures wisely and well.